Spacey Sims, and we're back with more Taisho Alice, and we left Spacey torturing poor Red and petting his ear and tail, and well, I I mean he was laughing, but just girl. Anyway, phew, I feel better now. After I'd had my fill of fuzzy fur, the gloom in my chest had faded considerably, and we also leapt into Red's story. I looked over at the wolfman, eyes sparkling. Ricky's hiding from us. Oh, poor baby. He peered at me from behind the safety of the door. Aw, you don't have to be scared. I'm sorry, okay? I went too far. Yeah, we did. I want to talk to you, so could you please come a little closer? I beckoned to him, but alas, I refuse. If I do, you'll just pet me again. He turned away, scowling. I just love the fact that we pet him, and he's like, oh, he likes it. He's like, you're just gonna pet me again. He's just all embarrassed by it. I mean, first of all, we crossed a line. We crossed a line, but still, wow. Let's just pretend there was consent there where there was none. Now he's all embarrassed because he enjoyed it. That sounds so wrong in the context of what happened. Wow. Let's just move along. It's okay. I promise I won't do anything to you. You've said that many times, but at no point have you actually meant it. What kind of person do you think I am? Apparently he saw Spacey Arisu as a lying witch. Seriously, I swear, I won't do anything. You swear? I swear. You can even tie me up if you want. A show of sincerity, I offered him both hands. Oh god, he's gonna get a nosebleed. Almost like a criminal waiting for my handcuffs. However, tie you up? I couldn't possibly do something so kinky. He shouted at me, blushing beet red. This is amazing. Kinky? I repeated the word back to him, and he snapped to his senses. I apologize for losing my composure. Okay. What's this guy's issue? God, I love this game. So good. Now then, what do you wish to talk about? I heard you scream, help me. Were you attacked by the wolf? No, nothing like that. I looked at his ears. They kept twitching and perking up, and it was very distracting, to say the least. He leapt away from me. Then he pulled his hood over his head for good measure. Uh-oh. He really doesn't trust me now. Anyway, what a high-quality costume you're wearing. I tried to change the subject, but... Costume! Costume. Bedroom. Roleplay. Lewd. I love how he said costume and he got straight to, like, bedroom roleplay. You know, we may have just, like, inappropriately fondled your wolfy ears and tail, but, like, good God, you're pervier than we are. That's saying something. Clearly his imagination was on par with that of a 12-year-old boy, and we were getting nowhere fast. Are you okay, buddy? Your nose is bleeding. It was quite surreal to see a stream of blood dripping down his otherwise handsome face. I'm fine. Want a tissue? Tissue? Everything is inappropriate with him. Look, are you sure you're all right? Yes, I'm fine. You sure don't look fine. I mean, you look fine, but you don't look fine. You know what I'm saying? Thinking quickly, I contemplated a potential solution. Even without my memories, I still had all my practical knowledge. Surely I could find a way to stop his nosebleed. As I recall, to stop a nosebleed, you should loosen your clothes, relax, and either sit down or lean against something. Well then, I spread my arms wide. Get those clothes off and get over here. Come on. Oh, she knows what she's doing. Didn't click, sorry. As he panicked, I sat him down on the bed. 20 or 30 minutes went by. Feeling better now? Yes, ma'am. He seemed to have regained his composure. Glad to hear it. Satisfied, I gave him a smile and a nod. If I'd let him keep bleeding endlessly, he would have passed out on the carpet. By the way, I prepared to address the elephant in the room. I hadn't been sitting here twiddling my thumbs the whole time, you know? After a solid effort to parse the situation on my own, it was time to ask the big question. Who exactly are you? Oh boy, here we go. What? Huh? Oh, I know. Since you're here in my house, are you my older brother? Unable to take the silence any longer, I decided to hazard a guess. What? Huh? However, the third time was not the charm, and silence fell once more. As my mind spun, contemplating what to do, I heard him let out a long breath. Now I understand. You're not feeling well, are you? Your mental faculties are noticeably deteriorating. Let's get you to bed. He rose from the bed and gestured to it, offering his place to me. What? No! Really, that's not it. Then what's going on here? He squinted at me dubiously, so I decided to give him a very brief rundown of the situation. I have amnesia. What? Are we just going to keep going in circles or what? First Cinderella and now this? Look, I don't blame you for being confused. I know this must be hard to believe, but I've lost my memories. I don't know who I am or how I got here. But you know your own name? I learned it from a man named Cinderella before I got here. Cinderella? Yes, we were at the lake just a few minutes ago, but now he's gone. I'm pretty sure I fell into the water, so I honestly have no idea how I got here. The water is just like another mirror, if you think about it. Do you know him? Hello? Are you even listening? I think this is probably, like, okay, Alice is not my favorite of the characters, you know what I mean? I love the whole game as a whole, but I think I kind of like the idea, like, in the fantasy aspect of it, of like, okay, so she walked through the crystal, right? Which was kind of like a looking glass, got into Cinderella's path. She fell into a lake, which is reflective, like a mirror, in order to get into Red Riding Hood's path. And then it's almost like you go through something, like, reflective. Oh, it's almost like you trip into it to get into a different route, which is a whole other world and a whole other life. It's actually kind of fucking... But meanwhile, we're also a figment of imagination in someone else's head. I mean, it's pretty fucking brilliant. Like, holy shit, this is amazing. All I'm saying. I waved my hand in front of his face. No reaction. Why'd you go all stiff? His nosebleed flared up again. Oh my god, because we said the word stiff. God, it's fucking hilarious. I think I'm gonna have to start watching what I say around this guy. Anyway, I know it's not easy to believe, but I'm honestly telling the truth. You know me, right? Who are you? Well, he gazed at me, his face flushed. Well, I'm the man with whom you were currently going steady, and my name is Red Riding Hood. Wow, I really am a thirsty nympho slut. Nympho? Gosh, this can't be right. I thought I was engaged to Cinderella, but now you're telling me I have a boyfriend on the side? If this was true, then Spacey Arista was quite possibly a heartless skank. Hey, we have a lot of heart. We just share that heart with all the men in our man harem. It's perfectly fine. They've agreed to this. Only because, you know, that's what we want in our head. Jesus, we're not a nympho slut or a skank. It's okay to have a man harem. God, Jesus. I mean, you know, maybe it would be right if you had a boyfriend on the side and you were engaged and you weren't telling your boyfriend on the side, and also then later when you trip into Gretel's route and you're boinking your brother, that's going to be really awkward. But, like, you know what I'm saying. Like, yeah, if you were hiding all these, maybe you got some problems. But We here at Spacey's Man Harem, everybody knows everybody else. We all live in a beautiful mansion in my brain. We're all happily in love, and it's fine. It's fine. I need to stop playing these games. That's never gonna happen anyway. Come to think of it, Alice did call me Mrs. Town Bicycle or whatever. You wonder if he's... Well, okay, because, like, the wizard is aware of everything. And all the routes, and us in all of the paths, right? So you wonder if Alice... Because the wizard was split off, right? The doctor, quote-unquote, was Ryoshi the one who actually did it? But I don't know if that was made clear or not. I mean, he was the doctor's assistant or whatever, right? Or he worked with the other doctor, like, that was working with Alistair. But at any rate, the wizard was a personality that they split on purpose. So he knows everything. But I'm assuming Alistair doesn't know any of that when other personalities are taking over, because we've kind of seen that from his backstory. Like, now these flashbacks, he has blanks in his memory. But does Alice? Like, maybe Alice kind of knows some things, you know what I mean? Or just has an intuition. Like, the wizard knows we're dating all of these guys and all these different routes and everything, and then there's something about Alice that can that picks up on that knowledge. You know what I mean? Like, maybe... Well, I mean, Alice has been in all these routes, too. So, maybe Alice is like the... I mean, we're all technically Alice, because we're all in his brain. So, we're all personalities of his in a weird way. But we're more like a figment of his imagination, and everybody else is a personality. But that's not to say that just because Alistair doesn't know, and each one of these characters doesn't know what the others know, or even what other versions of Cinderella and other paths know. The wizard knows everything. It's not to say that Alice couldn't know some of the things that the wizard knows. And he might not be totally like, I saw you with all this, but he just has that, you're just like an info slut, you're like a town bicycle, you're like all, like whatever, because somehow his intuition in a way knows things that the wizard knows for a fact. You know, because we're all just in his brain, so... Some people are gonna know some shit, is all I'm saying. Like, you can't be totally siloed. Alistair is the exclude, like, he doesn't know shit. Okay, but, like, some of the other ones, you know, they gotta be picking up some shit. Well, at least Alice and the wizard, at any rate, have some knowledge. Well, the wizard knows everything, but... Anyway. I thought he was just trying to rile me up, but maybe he was actually right. As I murmured to myself, I slowly shook my head. I refused to believe the old me would have deceived an honest man like Cinderella, or an innocent soul like Red Riding Hood. And yet, as things stood, I couldn't deny it. Without my memories, I couldn't be sure. Hey, Red? I need to confirm something real quick, so could I ask you to come with me? Wait, what the... When I looked over, I found him passed out on the carpet. Or I'll just go by myself. Tramping through the woods, okay. Into town. Yeah, because we met everybody in that route except for Red Riding Hood. Looks like this is the same world after all. I sighed to myself. The lake, the forest, the main street, the side roads, none of it appeared to have changed. What's going on? I don't really know. Maybe this world only looks the same, but it's actually different. Well, you know what's interesting if you think about it now? Now I'm looking back. Because in the wizard's route, right, we were engaged to all of them. They were all brothers. So it's like, that was the closest to, and that's where the reveal came out, right? So like everything, we had Cinderella, and then Red Riding Hood, and then it was Gretel and Kaguya, then Snow White, and then the wizard. But then now, in this path, we're kind of falling into all the routes. Collecting all the boyfriends as we go. Like, wow, I'm engaged to Cinderella, but now I'm dating Red Riding Hood. And oh, wait, I'm dating Gretel. And now I'm... And then we're going to get to where the wizard is and be like, and look, they're all our fiancés. which was what we were slowly doing in this whole path. That's fucking kind of genius right there. Like, there's little hints and things and pieces that tie in, and, like, I think if you played all the parts back to back, it would be easier, but, like, playing the first one and the second one, a lot of it has slipped my memory, including things from the last game, which wasn't that long ago. But that's kind of interesting, that by the time we get to kind of the end of this, it'll basically be like, oh yeah, I have all these boyfriends. Oh, which was exactly the wizard's route. Oh, look, I have all these fiancés. You know what I mean? And then that's where we figured out, like... okay. There was something else in my head that popped up too, and I just forgot when that train of thought, but... Choo-choo, we'll back up and find it later. I don't really know. Maybe this world only looks the same, but it's actually different? Kinda. Even I could tell I sounded insane, but everything felt so fuzzy. I almost wondered if it was all a dream. I see. Earlier he had looked at me like I'd grown a second head, but now he seemed lost in thought. Maybe he was starting to believe me. For a while we walked along in silence until... I mean, you could have said, I went to sleep. Maybe that was all just a dream and it seemed really real. You know, sometimes you wake up from dreams and you're like, that was way too real. What the fuck? Where am I? I'm pretty sure I've told the story of the crazy dream that I had once, that, like, I was sleeping in my bed, right? And... what? Which way did it go? It was, like, fucking nightmare. I was... oh, yeah, I was sleeping... hold on, this was, like, dreamception, okay? Like... oh, I was, like... I was dreaming, and I had a nightmare, and I woke up, right? And I don't remember what the nightmare was, but, like, I woke up, and then I was in my bed, and I'm like, oh my god. Holy shit. Oh, thank god. Because you know, like, when you have a nightmare, and you wake up, and you're like, oh my god. Oh, okay. All right, familiar surroundings. It was like that. I was like, okay, familiar surroundings. And then these hands reached up through the bed, and, like, wrapped around my waist and grabbed me. And I was like, ah! And then I woke up because I was dreaming that I had a nightmare. Woke up, recognized the room I was in, which was absolutely nothing like any room I've ever slept in my life. But in the dream, I recognized it and was like, oh, thank God, I'm awake now. And then the hands grabbed me through the bed, but it was still a dream. So I had a nightmare that I woke up from, just for that to be kind of a nightmare. Like a brief, and then I woke up, actually, and was like, where the fuck am I? Because even though I was actually in my real bed in my room, nothing looked right and everything was, oh my god, it was fucking weird. But you know, it'd be like the opposite of that, where you, like, wake up and you're like, everything is... or, no, it's almost like that. You wake up, everything is weird. I was just in another world. Was that real? What the fuck? And you're really confused? Because, like, dreams fuck with you sometimes. So I'm just saying, she could think that she's had a dream. It's like one of those fucking things, like, sometimes you don't remember nightmares. I remember the recurring nightmare that I had as a kid. Until the time that I remembered it exactly, and then I never had it again. But it was always, like, something was happening. Like, the one that I remember, so it'd always be, like, it's basically like a Hallmark Christmas movie, you know, where there's, like, a basic formula. Like, there's a guy and there's a girl, and one of them's in a green sweater and one's in a red sweater, because that's the way it is on the cover. And then she's always like, I'm a super awesome XYZ in some big-ass city, but I gotta go back to my rural Hoboken bumfuck town, because my parents' Christmas tree bakery farm is, like, having trouble, but it's also Christmas, and I haven't been back since I left, you know, for college. And then she goes back and visits, and then, like, her asshole ex-boyfriend, oh my god, whatever, redneck, hobo boyfriend, whatever he was, like, then they meet and, antagonize each other, but then they kind of have fun, and then she falls in love and gives up her entire life to run her parents' failing Christmas tree bakery farm, whatever the fuck it is. I mean, just fill in the blank. That's basically every fucking Christmas movie that there ever was, okay? Like, oh my god, my life wasn't complete until I needed you! Guy who is a rodeo clown? Ugh. Man. Like, I mean, there's nothing wrong with being, well, except for you're a clown and go fuck yourself. Clowns suck. But, like, I hate clowns. But, like, it's just, you write these and you're like, so the whole point is she had everything that she could possibly want in the world. Oh, but it wasn't good enough because she needed that man. Fuck you, Christmas. And they're all the fucking same. Every single one of them is the fucking same. It's always some kind of Christmas tree farm. Fucking pie bakery shit. Christmas pie tree bakery farm. I don't know. Christmas tree pie farm. Fucking A, whatever. It's some bullshit like that and it's goddamn ridiculous, okay? And my sister makes me watch them every freaking year and I hate them. But if you look at the covers of them all, every single one of them is like, you know, guys in the green sweater, girls in the red sweater, and it's like super Christmas festive shit in the background. It's weird. You know, unless they decided to do a Hanukkah version, then I guess everything would be blue. But, like, you know, they never do a Hanukkah version because, I don't know. I don't know where the point of that was going. Oh, but it's the formula. The basic formula of those movies was the basic formula of this nightmare. There would always be some kind of scenario happening. The one I remember is we were at my aunt's house and we were going to go for a walk on the farm. Because my aunt and uncle lived on a farm because his dad owned a farm and then, like, his dad lived kind of next door and then, like, there was a farm behind. Anyway. So we were going to go for a walk on the farm because we would do that sometimes at night, right? Or we would go deer hunting. And that meant we would jump in the back of my uncle's truck and he would drive across the farm and we would look for deer. Not actually like hunt them. You know what I mean? Like we wouldn't shoot them or kill them. We would just drive and he'd be like, oh, turn off the lights. And then you'd see the deer and it would go running across the field. And you're like, oh, look, deer. Okay. And then you drive and keep looking for more. That's how we used to do it. So like... the cute Disney version. Anyway, so we're gonna go for a walk on the farm and my mom forgot her purse. Why the fuck she needed her purse to go for a walk on the farm? I don't know, but this is what the dream always did. It always set me up to be like, I need something in this room over there. So I went to, it was in my cousin's room. So I go into my cousin's room and it's dark in the room, but instead of turning on the light, I'm like, oh, it's just the purse is on the bed. I can see it from the doorway. So I'm just gonna walk into the room and it would always be the same thing. I would always walk into a dark room to grab something. Not turn on the light because I'm stupid. And then the door would slam shut behind me and then, I don't know. And then I would wake up terrified because there would be like monsters or some shit. I don't know. But it would be like the dark room always tried to get me. And it always fucking did. It always fooled my ass. I always walked into that dark room and didn't turn on the light. Okay, I was that person. Don't go into the dark room, bitch! What are you doing? And I always went into the dark room. Until that version of the dream. And then I woke up and I remembered everything that happened and I never had that dream again, but I have never forgotten it 75,000 fucking years. It's been 84 years and Grandma still fucking remembers that dream. That and the weird dream that I always had about this giant castle on a mountain or this tall hill. Whatever. I always had dreams of that. And I remember I can see the picture in my head. Never dreamt of it again afterward. And I have no idea the context of the dream. I just remember seeing that image in my head. And when I remembered it, I was like, I've dreamt that before. Weird. Oh. Anyway, 7 hours later. For a while, we walked along in silence until... Oh. Out of nowhere, Red stopped short. Likewise, I followed suit, glancing at his face and profile. Say, Those flowers sure are beautiful, aren't they? As he spoke, he pointed into the distance. I followed his finger and spotted a flower shop. How will you respond? Agree with him. Oh, you're right. My attention wandered to the red flowers on display outside of the shop. Oh, they have carnations! I've always loved carnations. They look so soft and sweet. Me too. I love them as well. He mumbled, blushing as red as a tomato. As I grinned at him, he raised a hand to his hood and averted his gaze. It's really hard to imagine how we ended up dating him when he can barely look at us. And if we say, did you need a tissue for your nosebleed? He automatically thinks pervy thoughts about tissues. I mean, I'm just saying. He's like 2.5 tropes. It's not even like he's this trope. He's like times 2 and then add half. Like, he's extra. Do you know what carnations mean in flower language? Do you know what carnations mean in flower language? We're supposed to say yes. I do! Red carnations represent maternal love, faith in love, and ardent love. That's right. That's exactly right. he exclaimed happily. That's strange. How did I know that? Apparently she had this knowledge, even if I didn't remember acquiring it. Spacey. Eventually we arrived at Cinderella's, or rather, my cafe. Oh, here we are. This is the place. I ran right over to it, but found the door was locked. Oh, the sign says closed. I know this place. What? I looked up at him. He stared blankly at the building. Well, I came here the night you were kidnapped. Kidnapped? Wow, that sounds intense. I spoke as though it had happened to someone else. But since I had no memories, there was nothing about Spacey Arisu that truly made her feel like me. That being said, I was starting to get really confused about the life she had been living. Well, what now? I wonder if anyone's home. I wanted to peek inside, but the curtains were all closed. I mean, here's the thing. You're thinking like, oh my god, I'm the town bicycle because I'm engaged to Cinderella and I'm dating Red. Wait. But you would have been like, Red, how long have I been in bed? And he would have been like, you went to sleep a couple of hours ago. And we would have been like, but like a couple of hours ago I was with Cinderella. And he would have been like, no, you weren't. We were doing that. And he would be able to tell you that the last week or so many days you've been spending with him, you weren't with Cinderella at any point in time. And you'd be like, so my memories are saying that on Monday this is what happened. And he's like, no, we were doing this on Monday. So then you'd be like, weird, so this is definitely not the same world, and I am not the same Spacey, but I am? And that's when you would know that, but she's just like, oh, I woke up in bed and he must have brought me here and doesn't seem to think to ask? How the fuck did I get here? I was just talking to Cinderella at the lake. Did I fall in the lake? And he'd be like, who? What? You just went in to take a nap. You literally fell asleep 10 minutes ago. You know what I mean? Like, it's like, you haven't been out of my sight in a week. What the fuck? And then we would know shit's weird. Why don't we ever communicate and ask these questions? Anyway. I wanted to peek inside, but the curtains were all closed. I mean, then it wouldn't be as fun, because then we would know, and then we wouldn't have anything to investigate. And shenanigans wouldn't ensue, but I'm just saying. Excuse me, is anybody home? Cinderella? Gretel? Snow White? I tried calling for them, but got no response. I don't believe Cinderella's here. What? Wait, so you do know him? At my question, he blinked back at me like it was a surprise to him, too. Yes, though not well. I have also met Gretel and, Snow White. Oh, wow! So you guys are friends or what? We are not friends. We're... But before he could finish his sentence, lovers... Here comes the wolf! I'm assuming it's wolf because he's spelled like that. What? Out of nowhere, a voice called out from behind him. Enemy attack! We've been had! You asked for him, now here he is! Ta-da! It's your boy Wolf, gonna gobble up all the girls! Ow! Before us appeared a guy wearing what looked like a wolf onesie. The second he laid eyes on me, he flung his arms around me. I mean, you knew Wolf was gonna show up. He's also the quote-unquote the big bad wolf. And oh right, we were conning Red Riding Hood. Whoa! It was so sudden, I was utterly at a loss. I tried to play it off with a vaguely friendly smile, but he blinked at me in confusion. What's wrong, Allie Sue? Usually you play along with the joke like, "Eee, somebody save me," or something. Wolf, get away from Spacey. Then Red peeled him off of me. Come on, Blondie. Can't you let me have one measly hug? Hero is hanging all over. The guy Red referred to as Wolf began to pout and complain. I would never be so lecherous, you horny wolf. My relationship with her is mature and... Mature isn't R-rated. You dirty wolf! Don't make those jokes in front of her. I'll have you arrested for disturbing the peace. Hey! All I said was R-rated, man. You're the one with your mind in the gutter, you pervy wolf. What? It felt like I was watching two 12-year-old boys. As I stared at them dismally, I heard a small sigh from behind me. You kids are always so very loud and so very stupid. What the hell are you doing in front of my house? Huntsman. Sir? Now here was a character I'd yet to encounter. I mean, also Wolf, but... And there you have it. The man known as Mr. Huntsman unlocked the door and let us inside, where I explained the situation in full to them. Amnesia, you say? After I was finished, he murmured pensively. Incidentally, his real name was Ryoshi, and he was apparently my brother. Amnesia as in, like, you hit your head or something? No, I don't think anything like that happened. I felt around on my scalp just in case, but couldn't feel any injuries. Then Ryoshi pinned me with his gaze. I mean, like, it's just kind of annoying that Ryoshi's actually our brother, because he's, like, fucking hot, but... I mean, like, look. Gretel is, like, a stepbrother, and that's weird enough. It's like, okay, we're not blood related, so we'll just pretend it's not kind of creepy and weird, but it's kind of creepy and weird, but, like, there's still something about that creepy, weird route that I enjoyed. I'm not lying. But, like, Ryoshi's actually our brother, so that would just be really gross. But could he not be? I thought there were other stories in the epilogue for Ryoshi and Wolf. Maybe they didn't get translated, or am I crazy? I don't know, anyway. For the most part, amnesia isn't caused by blunt force trauma like you see on TV. If it happens, it only lasts for a short period of time. In reality, the majority of amnesia cases are psychological in origin. When severe pain is inflicted on a person, their instinctive reaction is to escape. I want to get out of here. I never want to think about this again. I want to bury it all. Amnesia is caused by the conscious mind escaping from that sort of psychological stress. In other words, it's a defense mechanism. They forget in order to protect their bodies and minds so they won't break. I get it. So she was so sick of living with Blondie that she was desperate to escape. Wolf was clearly joking, but Red took it seriously. The blood drained from his face. You were? I'm so sorry. I must have failed to satisfy your needs. I mean, because you know damn well you've never touched me, so... No, that's not true. I'm very satisfied. Or at least I was. Are you sure of that? Very sure. I mean, you're such a fascinating person, Red. Plus, you're handsome and adorable and fluffy and adorable. I was waiting. Sensing my ill intentions, he pulled his hood low over his eyes. Hard to believe you really got amnesia when you seem to like the same exact person. When you seem like the same exact person, sorry. Do I? Pretty much. Just then, Red spoke up sharply. Of course she does. Spacey will always be Spacey, with or without her memories. However, if you've truly lost all your memories, then I have to wonder what could have caused it. An awkward silence fell between us. Now that I think about it, do you remember your brother? Red changed the subject. No, but I heard from Cinderella that I had one. Still, it's strange. Just yesterday I was here with Cinderella, Gretel, and Snow White, and now you three. And now it's you three. According to Ryoshi, this cafe was one of several Arisu family-owned properties. Wow, I can't. Woo! But I'd never attempted to run said cafe. How could that be possible? What about the time I spent with Cinderella and his brothers? So do you guys know them? Yeah, I do. Me too! I see. What about me? Did I know them before I lost my memories? At this, they all exchanged a wordless glance. Apparently they didn't know the answer to my question, or they're hiding something from us. I just don't get it. How could I have forgotten all these important things? I mumbled down at the floor, and how come I'm putting weird things together? I mean, like, now you're thinking I'm putting weird things together, thinking I was just here when I clearly wasn't? And now you're starting to think you're crazy, and then wait till you get to the next route. Because I'm pretty sure that was Gretel. But actually it's Gretel, I'm pretty sure. Woo. Then after a long silence, I remembered something and looked up. That reminds me, what about Alice? Alice? Do you know him? He's blonde with blue eyes and a foul mouth, a big head, a bad attitude, and not a single shred of modesty or tact. Dang, you hella roasted him. I know someone who fits that description. You do? Ryoshi led me upstairs to the room at the end of the hall. To think he was in the exact same spot as last time. Why didn't I think of that? Not like I'd been wasting my time, and in fact I was. Maybe my head was just there for decoration after all. Alice, please, come on out! I need to talk to you! I shouted as I knocked. Alice! Alice! And that does not appear to be working. I pressed my ear to the door and listened for any signs of life. I didn't hear anything, but I could sense someone on the other side. Spinning on my heel, I looked at Ryoshi, the owner of the building. Ryoshi, would it be alright if I took the door off its hinges? As long as you put it back afterwards. Excellent! Okay, then. I took a step backwards, dropped into a fighting stance, and prepared for battle. Rah! But before I could toss out a high kick... Stop! Oh, there he is. Alice popped out with a horrified look on his face. You can't dismantle my door just because I refused to answer it! What was that feral scream just now? You were going to destroy it completely, weren't you? Do you have any feminine sensibilities whatsoever? You're a girl, then by God you should act like one. Oh, don't worry, violence is very feminine. I threw out a practice punch. Violence is for manly men. You sure you weren't born in the wrong body? Sorry, but I'm an alpha wolf who always catches her prey. Case in point, you. I bounced over and threw my arms around him. Ah! You're not getting away from me this time. I've got you surrounded. I grinned evilly. Red Riding Hood and Wolf stood blocking the stairs, and I strongly doubted Alice could get past them. You little weasel! Now then, answer my questions like you promised. Why do you keep running for me? Where are we? Who are you? Well, yes. He fell silent for a moment, then he whirled around and pointed at the window. Look! There's a bikini girl with E-cups bouncing around out there! I giggled at his childish trick. That's not gonna work, Alice. If you're trying to distract me, then why would you... Where? Where? You said E-cup? What size is that? Big enough to bounce? A, B, C, D, E. Oh, God, whoops. E. E? That's 5. Oh, God, I almost clicked the wrong thing. Why are you guys falling for it? The two brainless boys went straight for the window. You'd think Red would just pass out from the thought. He's like, A, B. It appears you still don't understand the inner workings of men. Hey! With everyone distracted, Alice dashed away. Dashed? Dashed away. Why did I just say Alice dashed away? Oh, God. We got some weird accents coming out here, huh? Huh? Hey! Alice! Wait! I hurried after him, but as you might expect, it was too late. Ugh, he got away again! And so easily, too. Ugh, furious! I stomped my feet in frustration. That being said, he was in the same spot last time. Maybe there's a connection here. I peered into the newly vacant room. It's his room. I don't see anything particularly interesting. It was minimally furnished, the only thing of note being a chessboard atop a small table. I mean, this is the room that he was basically always living in, and we would come in and play chess with him as Alistair when he was actually living with Spacey's family after he went cuckoo, right? So, like, if with the what was going on in the Wizard's tale was kind of the truth. The bits and pieces we saw. Spacey! Yes, sir! He caught me off guard, so I ended up responding like some kind of grunt soldier. Please, come quickly. You got it, boss! We headed down to the first floor where he showed me a handkerchief. Take a look at this. Is that hair? Lying on the pink fabric was a strand of glittering golden hair. Yes. The color, the texture, the slight curl. It's unmistakably his. Is that a... Interesting. Where did you find it? Outside the first floor bathroom. Are we sure it's not a That's enough of you, kid. That's enough out of you, kid. Okay. God, Wolf. Ryoshi grabbed Wolf by the scruff of the neck and dragged him off. Well, let's go check the bathroom. Right. I'm gonna give this signal, we'll both charge in. Understood? Understood, sir. Alice was surely hiding out in the bathroom. Following my commander's hand signals, I held my breath and waited for the chance to strike. Then, at last, the time came. Did you hear the drama music? Dun, 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 dun. 3, 2, 1. Go! Go, go, go! What? Wait, what the? When we kicked the door down, however, Alice was nowhere to be seen. That's strange. I was so sure he fled inside. As Red Riding Hood peered around the bathroom, my attention drifted toward the sink. There's a mirror here. What if... My fingers were drawn to its surface. When I touched it, it rippled like water. It's interesting. So Alice is actually popping into through all the stories just like us. Looks like it'll let us through. Through to where exactly? A different world, if I had to guess. A different world. Yep. I nodded firmly. Truth be told, I passed through a mirror to get here. You did? Yeah. In the darkness, I passed through the giant crystal mirror and arrived in Cinderella's world. Then I fell into the mirror reflection of the still lake and arrived here. That's what I said before! This is fucking amazing! I love this! It's great! It's so like, woo! I mean, it's like Alice in Wonderland. She goes through the mirrors, but it's still like, but it's so cool because like they're going through from one world to another, just tripping through them. It's so cool. It's neat. It's kind of like Sliders. Anybody ever watch that show like 700 years ago where they'd be like, jump through the wormhole, go to like a different world? It's kind of like that, but this time we're going through like shiny objects. Anyway. In other words, each mirror could take me somewhere new. I'm sorry, I know it must sound like something out of a dream. I can't claim to understand it myself, but the fact is, I came here chasing Alice. Red stared back at me blankly as I confessed. I'm afraid I'm too stupid to understand what you're saying. So you came here from another world? Like in a manga? Yes, just like in a manga. Does this mean you're not the same person who I originally met? The question made my heart ache. I'm not sure. It might still be the same me, or it might not be. The only way to find out for sure is for me to catch Alice. Why Alice? What information could he possibly possess? When I was all alone in the darkness, it was Alice who took my hand. And he called me Arisu. Surely he has to know who I am. I wouldn't have come this far if it wasn't for him. I don't know why he keeps running from me, but there has to be a reason. There's a reason I need to catch him. I see. Well, Red, this is where we say goodbye. I turned away from him and reached out to the mirror. Wait, please. He grabbed my shoulders, the expression on his face hard and determined. I blinked at him. I'll come with you. Huh? But... You may not be the same woman I know, but you still have amnesia, and I'm duty-bound to provide assistance to all those in need. Especially you, Miss Arisu. I'm afraid I cannot let you go alone. Oh, Red. Okay then, let's hold hands. What? Hold hands? But that's... Ignoring his bashful blushing, I snatched his hand. Oh my god, it's like we just had sex with him. What? Yeah! My hand! My hand! Here we go! He's not going to make it with us. I was just assuming that we're going to try to go with him and he's not going to be able to go. I never liked school much. I didn't look like the other kids, so I didn't fit in, and it made me a target for bullying. But now people were starting to treat me a bit differently, and I didn't understand why. Hey, you! What is it? You need to quit lying. Huh? Don't play dumb. You promised me giving you your old toys, but you haven't. What are you talking about? Ugh, you're such a jerk. And you said you'd give me a ring. I don't remember that. No, seriously, I don't. When did I say that? You know what I heard? I heard his family's really poor. They just pretend to be rich. They're all a bunch of liars. We're not lying. And what's with the ribbon? He, she. Wow, rude. No, This ribbon was the one thing that connected me to Arisu. I wanted to scream at them for insulting her, but I couldn't. The next day... Okay then, sweetie. It's time for me to go to work. Mom noticed my silence and frowned, puzzled. What's wrong? My stomach hurts. I was lying, of course. I just didn't want to go to school and get made fun of for reasons I didn't understand. I didn't dare complain to my mother, who worked hard without a single day off. Your stomach? Are you okay? Do you have a fever? I don't feel any fever, but... should I take you to the hospital? No, that's okay. You sure? Okay then, can you stay home by yourself? Yeah. I nodded and she gently stroked my hair. Just rest up at home today. I'll call the school and let them know. Now listen here, you mustn't play outside. The world is filled with wicked wolves and you can never trust them. So if one of them... My computer just fucking... The screen just completely went black. What the fuck? Sorry. The whole screen just... Like it went to sleep or some shit. I was like, what the fuck just happened? Anyway. So if one of them talks to you, be sure to ignore them. You have to watch the house while I'm gone, understand? And if anyone knocks on the door, don't let them in, no matter what. Got it. I'd stayed at home alone before. This was my first time faking sick to skip school. My heart thumped in my chest like I was doing something wrong. And possibly as a result of my guilty conscience. For some reason, it felt like someone was watching me. Is someone there? Guess I'm just imagining it. From then on, I skipped school more and more. Right, of course. I apologize. Thank you. Goodbye. And that was the school. The sadness in my mother's eyes made my chest ache. Sweetheart, why don't you want to go to school? No reason. Is someone being mean to you? Talk to me, honey. Nothing like that, Mom. Are you sure? Yeah, I'm... What's wrong? It's happening again. That shadow. What shadow? Mom, I wondered if maybe I should just tell her everything, including the stuff that happened at school, and about the presence I felt watching me from the shadows. Maybe she would believe me. It's nothing. Alice? Soon after, I started having these strange dreams now and then. Dreams where I played with a boy my age. Hey, Blondie, over here! Blondie? It's you. I didn't know the boy's name. What are you doing? Come on! Whoa! But he seemed to know me, and he was happy to lead me by the hand. Blondie. Oh my god, is it Wolf? I wonder if it is because, like, this is like the after the Red Riding Hood thing, which is kind of like, because you saw, like, the stories that Cinderella told, oh, I had the wagtail things and I broke them, and then he started to learn how to glass blow, right? And then, like, we're branching into where Snow White's gonna come in. But, like, where does he get the weird stepsister? Like, where does he get the weird sister complex? But, like, now, this is, like, the Red Riding Hood thing, and, like, the other kids calling him Blondie, and, like, it seems like it would be Wolf. You know what I mean? Because Wolf is always calling Red Riding Hood Blondie, and then Like, in Red Riding Hoods, it was like, come on, we were friends, like, right? You know, we used to play together, you were weird. You know, because Red Riding Hood's mother wouldn't let him leave the house, but he snuck out, and then he met Wolf and they were friends, right? Isn't that kind of what happened? But Snow White also snuck out of the house. So there's like bits and pieces where they're very similar. Also the cage. Anyway, the next thing I knew, my mother was crying. Mom? Why are you crying? When I called out to her, she spoke to me in a watery voice. Alice. Are you really my Alice? I didn't understand why she would ask me that. Wasn't there a part in Snow White where, like, the mother, like, didn't think... So, like, some of the pieces were kind of all coming together, like, at that point. But, like, isn't it in Snow White's where, like, well, I mean, they were living together like that. The mother was going to work all the time, and then she's like, "Are you really my son?" And he was like, "What?" Like, you know what I mean? Like, wasn't there a part that was kind of similar? Didn't she say something similar to him? Maybe I'm imagining it. I don't know. Ah! When I jumped through the mirror, I didn't pause to think of how I would go about landing on the other side. I could feel myself tumbling through the darkness. Ah! Then the darkness lit up and I landed hard on my butt. Ow! I clutched my aching tushy. What awaited me here in this new world? I thought we were in Gretel's route before Kaguya's. Because I was curious as to why we ended up in the cafe and not in the little hut. But then here's Kaguya. So, Spacey, what's happened? I heard the sound of someone racing up a staircase, and then a familiar figure ran into the room. Oh, hi, Kaguya. It was my servant from Cinderella's world. He raced over to me, face white as a sheet. Did you fall? Are you hurt anywhere? I'm okay. Ow, ow, ow. I tried to get up, but my tailbone twinged in protest. Just stay still. Should I call a doctor? No need, I suppose. For now, let's get you to your room and take a look at you. He slid an arm under my legs. It's kind of funny, we have amnesia, and Kaguya's like, me too. Weird. What? The next thing I knew, I was in midair. Of course, Kaguya is one of the later, and like, he has amnesia and doesn't remember. But Alice, kind of in a way, has amnesia. He doesn't remember some of the shit that's happening to him because other personalities are taking over. But one of his personalities is an amnesiac. That's like, you're like, so you don't remember anything that happened? No. Well, that's weird because your personality that you were yesterday also didn't remember. So I don't know who you are right now. You don't remember what happened yesterday because the personality that was controlling you yesterday, you know, because you weren't you were someone else, but that person also had amnesia, which is really trippy. The next thing I knew, I was in midair. Whoa! On the verge of losing my balance, I flung my arms around his neck to anchor myself. Hold tight for just a moment, my princess. Kiss. What? I shrieked as he kissed me on the forehead. I'm assuming this is Kaguya's route. Did we skip Gretel's? Because I thought Gretel's came before Kaguya. Maybe you didn't have... I mean... I thought it seemed kind of obvious to play Cinderella's then Red Riding Hood's, and I thought Gretel's came before Kaguya, but maybe not. Maybe I just played them in that order. Seriously, what kind of shoujo manga is this? Stop complaining. We love Kaguya. Hey, where are we going? I'm taking you to your room to have a look. Can't strip you in the middle of the hall now, can I? Wouldn't want just anyone getting an eyeful of your naked body. Strip me? Naked? This shoujo manga is getting a little PG-13. This is a little XXX. In my shock, I shouted a little too loudly. He pressed his forehead to mine. Shh, Spacey. You mustn't make too much noise. Oh, okay. His husky voice made me falter. Carrying me bridal style, he brought me into the same bedroom I woke up in back in Cinderella's world. Then he gently laid me down onto the bed. Thank you? You're very welcome. Smiling brightly, he leaned forward on the bed. And then... Now then, Spacey. He crawled toward me on his hands and knees. Yes, what is it? I was trapped, nowhere to run. And even if I could run, his intensity had me paralyzed in place. Why would you want to run? He is my favorite. I love him. Okay, Kaguya and the Wizard were kind of my favorites, just right off the bat. But, like... there's something about the big floopy sleeves where you can't see his hands, which is a little awkward and strange, but kind of adorable. And he's so fucking pretty. I don't know. But he knows nothing. I don't know. He's kind of an idiot! Because he really knows nothing. It's not really his fault. He has amnesia, so... As I cringed into the covers, he leaned in close and hit me with the words I was dreading. Show me your tummy, Spacey. What? Show me your tummy. Nande? Why? Forget PG-13. This is getting R-rated. Either you show me or I'll take matters into my own hands. At this demand, I raised both hands in protest. No, please stop. Like, yeah, you're super hot and everything, but we're not even dating. What? Poor Kaguya, we broke his heart. What? After a brief silence, Kaguya moved back and sat down on the bed. Spacey. Yes? I stammered under the intense pressure emanating from him. What do you mean we're not dating? Exactly what it sounds like? Exactly what it sounds like? His expression was frozen on his face like a mask. Now he was scaring me in a very different way. Since when was Kaguya like this? Spacey, do you not fancy me anymore? No, it's nothing like that. Then, are you upset with me? He leaned in close again. Have I done something wrong? I'll fix whatever you don't like about me, so just... He grabbed me by the shoulders, but right before anything got X-rated. Hey! What's going on up here? Everything okay? At last, two familiar faces arrived to rescue me. I don't know what I just walked in on. Sorry. Alas, my saviors promptly turned to leave. Don't go, Cinderella! Huh? Cinderella turned back and gave me a funny look. I've been so worried about you all this time. When we fell into the lake and got separated, I always wondered what happened to you. But now I see you're back at home. As I rambled on and on, his expression turned even more dubious. She knows she's in another world. Why would she think he remembers that? Huh? Not sure I follow. But it's kind of hard to take you seriously when you're, you know... At this, Kaguya and I hastily sprang apart. Now let's start over. Cinderella? Do you remember me? Of course I remember you. You're Spacey Arisu, right? Yes, that's right. Your fiancé, Spacey Arisu. I beamed. What? What? The same words came out of both their mouths, yet they meant it in two very different ways. The blood drained from Cinderella's face as he thought he had just borne witness to a critical mistake. Confused, I followed his gaze. Then my heart skipped a beat, and not in a good way. Cinderella. Kaguya hopped off the bed and closed in on him. Yeah? Cinderella recoiled, looking deeply uncomfortable. All this time I was so grateful to you. Not only did you take in a stranger like me into your home, but you gave me a job and helped me get together with Puppet. Not once did I ever think you'd betray me like this. Don't get me wrong, you're a good-looking bloke with a sexy voice and all that. Not why I do it, but I'm sure all the birds love you. Cinderella looked from Kaguya to me and back. Then he waved his hands in front of his chest as though to dismiss the accusations. Wait! This is a misunderstanding, right? Or maybe it's a prank. Tell him this is a prank! But he was asking me to lie, and I couldn't do that. Oh my god, we're kind of an asshole. Like, she knows she just leapt into another world. She's not fucking stupid. Or does she forget every time she goes into another world? She clearly didn't. She's like, no, wouldn't she think, wait. So, okay, so here's what happened. I woke up. I was chasing this guy, Alice, and I woke up, and I was engaged to Cinderella, and you were my, family servant. And then I fell into the lake, and then I was dating this guy named Red Riding Hood, and he didn't know Cinderella, and then I walked through a mirror, and now I'm here, so obviously this is a different world, and I'm, world tripping, and I don't know what's happening. It sounds crazy, but you're gonna get Cinderella stabbed. And she's just like, I can't lie, Cinderella's totally my fiancé, and Red's my boyfriend. Girl! I mean, we really are collecting them as we go. You've got to get consent for them to be in the man harem. As I sat there in silence, Kaguya backed Cinderella up against the wall. You really thought you could steal my precious puppet away from me, eh, Cinderella? And how are you going to make this right? Well, Cinderella? Kaguya looked like he was ready to grab Cinderella by the collar, but before the situation could escalate any further, Cinderella yelled in his face. She's not my girlfriend or fiancé or anything else. She's dating you. What? Now it was my turn to be shocked. What's going on here? I am? I asked timidly. And that's what I thought, at least. Aren't you? At last, Snow White spoke up after seemingly trying his hardest to stay out of it. Hold on. I need to clear some stuff up. So you're saying I'm currently dating Kaguya? Well, that's what I thought was going on, isn't it? And Cinderella isn't my fiancé. No! You're my employee, and that's it! As far as I could tell, the three of them were all dead serious about this. This meant that the Cinderella standing here in this room was not the same Cinderella I'd already met. The backstory's changed? And this time I'm in a world where Kaguya is my romantic partner. Oh, wait a minute. We're probably not going to trip into the story order where you played through them in the game is different than the... Cinderella is the first brother. Red Riding Hood was the second brother, was Kaguya the third. Because that would make sense, but Gretel would have to be the youngest. Was he? I don't remember the order. But it would make sense because Gretel's personality, because I was like, where did he get the sister complex? He got the sister complex from us. That's why Gretel's obsessed with us. Because, when our family, because, they said that in the Wizard's route, right? That our family kind of took Alice in because our brother or whatever was treating him. So we were always so didn't they adopt him or something? So that's where he got the weird sister complex. Because he'd always had feelings for us as children. And then our family adopted him so that they could take care of him and, try to help him. And then he developed that sister complex because we were technically a sister. That explains why we're not in Gretel's route, because Gretel would come later. We're probably going through them in the order of the personalities he developed. That makes more sense. But that's not the way the game came out. Interesting. Anyway. And this time I'm in a world where Kaguya is my romantic partner. And what about everyone else? Every time I pass through the mirror to a new world, the connections between each character seem to change. Wait, but where's Red Riding Hood? When I passed through the mirror, I was holding hands with him, but now he was nowhere to be seen. He can't come here. It's not his world. Did he vanish as soon as I arrived here? As I mulled it all over, I suddenly noticed everyone staring at me in silence. I looked up and took in their expectant faces. Well, I'm still pretty confused, but for now I think I should clear up the misunderstanding. You see, I have amnesia. Amnesia? Yeah, so I don't really remember what history we have together, so to speak. But you know my name. That's the thing, actually. I pointed squarely in his face. It appears I've come here from a different world. At first I was wandering through the darkness, but then I met a guy named Alice. I know we're over time, but there's no good place to stop. Then I followed him through the crystal mirror to the looking glass world. There I learned that Cinderella was my fiancé. Then I found Alice again and chased him to a new world.
But this time Cinderella was gone, and I was instead dating a man named Red Riding Hood, and I was rambling like an utter lunatic. They all stared at me in alarm and disbelief. This was something of a buzzkill, and I slowed to a stop. Hey, by any chance, did you hit your head on something? Whatever she's got, it might be terminal. I'm not lying, I swear! Please believe me. I shouted loudly, hoping desperately that they wouldn't think I was crying wolf for attention. I believe you. Kaguya muttered quietly. Thank you, Kaguya. You believe her? Seriously, bro? I mean, yeah, I do reckon it sounds like something out of a dream. He averted his gaze slightly, then looked back at me. But my puppet wouldn't joke about having amnesia. Not to me. And she's like, why? 'Cause I have amnesia. Oh. Right, I guess not. Good point. That'd be really messed up. Cinderella and Snow White both agreed with him. Evidently, this world's Spacey Arisu was a trustworthy gal. Alright, but isn't something kind of fishy here? If this Spacey came from another world, and then what happened to ours? Well, not like there's two of you, is there? The next instant, Kaguya dashed from the room like he couldn't bear to stay there a moment longer. Perfect place to stop. Okay. He's looking for the real Spacey. And we'll stop there and we'll continue in the next part. So I will see you guys next time. Remember to give the video a big thumbs up and subscribe to see more.